$1.80 to me looks over the odds, especially given he started $1.50 last start. And I think if he turns up, he'll win. So for that reason, I've made him my best bet on the card. I've made him a maximum 5-unit bet, and I think he'll be getting the job done.
Ayrton in front, Ellsberg battling away, but in no race with Ayrton. He's starting to scorch away, and the odds-on favourite is too good for them. Ayrton won by nearly 3 lengths.
I thought the $6.50 about Zipping Boy was a really good price. In a kind of open meeting, I thought he was probably the one that I was most keen to back on the day, despite not being one of the shortest favourites on the day.
Express Pass driving at Zipping Boy. Express Pass and Zipping Boy. Ruben Blur flying. Zipping Boy a nose.
And then Sir Galahad down the bottom, who's just made the field with a couple of scratchings. Drops over 10 kilos in the weights. Barrier 2, again Carleen Heppel here, and he's probably going to go straight to the front. And there's another that really likes wet tracks again, so I thought he would definitely give them something to catch, and he's going to be in this for a long way at $21.
Running on, but the big plunge coming off here. $21 into $5, and Sir Galahad is streaking them. Beats them out of sight.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Racing Bet Preview. I'm your host, Tim Geers, joined by Trent Crebbin, who posted an absolutely enormous result last week. Couldn't have seen them any better. Trent, I think it was 10 units out, about 37 back, best bet in the bag, best value bet in the bag, and a couple more along the way at Sandown. We'll be looking to do it all again this week. We'll be previewing the Ipswich Cup Day card, as well as Flemington and Melbourne. Trent, how's things on the back of a huge weekend?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I think it was 7 races we bet into, had the winner in 6 of them, and yeah, quite a few at good prices there. We kind of got on the right side of the track pattern, but yeah, it was really good to finally post another big result, and I'm hoping we can do that again at Flemington. There was a couple of good bets again.
Yeah, it looks a couple of good bets at Ipswich too for it's I suppose a 1-week hiatus between the Group 1 races in Brisbane, but we're off to Ipswich for Cup Day, and yeah, I really like the look of the card. I think there's a number of good bets along the card, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck in before we round out the Brisbane Winter Carnival with Tats Tiara Day at Eagle Farm next weekend. So we'll do our best to find you a few more winners, as well as we had Ayrton as well last weekend, which was a max bet for us. Didn't take any genius to find it, but as it proved, the $1.80 turned out to be more than value, as well as Zaki being impressive once again, $1.50 into about $1.28, I think, at the jump. But yeah, we won't reflect too much on last week. We've got more winners to find this week, and we'll change it up a little bit this week. We'll do our best bets together, and then we'll both go through our best value bets. That'll save me rambling on a little bit, and make sure we keep it nice and short and sharp this week. Righto, let's kick off with our best bets, Trent, and these are brought to you by playup.com.au. We'll start over with you at Flemington. Your best this weekend is race 7, number 1, Curran. He's had 7 starts for 3 wins and 3 second placings. Hard to beat again this weekend?
Yeah, we were on it last start at Flemington in kind of the main lead up, one of these 3-year-old sprinting races, and I thought he was really good there, kind of back to the inside. And once he really picked up over the last kind of 400 or so, he really put them away late, went on to win by nearly 2 lengths. But the query is he goes up in the weights here, he goes up to 59 kilos. So that's the knock, going up from 55 last start, and he's got to give these a couple of kilos. But I think he's the best horse in the race. He keeps showing up and keeps improving. He hasn't seen a soft track before, so that's potentially another query, but he's drawn out wide, which should be good. And I just think like I said, he's probably the classiest horse in this field, and keeps raising the bar, and I think he'll do it again in the Creswick Stakes.
Okay, so that's $4 for Curran in race 7 at Flemington on the weekend, $4 across the board, and $4 with playup.com.au. I'm with race 6, number 3, Desert Lord on top. I think he's the best on the day. A freakish stat for you here. David Van Dyke's strike rate at Ipswich this season alone, he's had 23 starters for 12 winners and 7 minor placings. So out of his 23 runners, 19 have finished in the first 3, and he's got a winning strike rate of 52.2%. And a positive return on investment. So this is his only runner of the day in race number 6, Desert Lord. He's had 5 starts for David Van Dyke. He's won 2 of them, placed in a further 2 of them. Resumes in a Class 6 over 1,200 here. I think he's had 3 starts in this grade for 2 wins and a pretty unlucky second placing. So I thought if he turned up in his best form, there is kind of 2 versions of this horse. If he turned up in his best form, I think he'd take care of this field. And yeah, as I said, DVD's only runner of the day at Ipswich. Ryan Maloney booked to ride. Scary kind of setup. And if he brings his best, I think he'll be very hard to beat. That's race 6, number 3, Desert Lord, currently $2.40 with playup.com.au. Okay, Trent, your best value bet of the day. Can you go back to back from last weekend? You're playing a couple of horses in the last at Flemington. It's been a good tactic for you. You blew out with your best bet in the last weekend. Can you do it again here? You're backing horse number 6, I Am Someone, at $15. And also one of our favourites, the West Aussie Red Can Man, $4.60, J Carr, first time.
Yeah, I think that's a really good 2-bet play there, about $4.60 and $15 for the pair of them. I'll start with I Am Someone. He's had a trainer change. He's back to Matthew Laurie, and he was kind of just plain first up. But then last start, I really liked his effort. That was last week behind the Zipping Boy who managed to get home for us. It was a day where you had to be kind of leading in close to the fence, and he came from back in the field and was only beaten 1.8 lengths. I thought it was a really good effort there. And he's got a very good third up record. He's 3 wins from 4 starts when third up. He's also, I probably think the 1100 meters down the straight is probably his pet track and distance, and he also likes soft ground. So I think he gets everything in his favor here. He gets good draw. And like I said, he gets his best track conditions and down the straight as well. So I think he's a good chance at around that $15 quote. And the other horse is Red Can Man, the Western Australian. 1100 meters is potentially a little bit short for him, although he has he does have a win over Laverod at the distance, and we've seen Laverod come out and win at listed grade here in Melbourne. So I think that form stacks up quite well. He trialled recently at Traralgon, and it was very good work. He trialled very nicely. J Carr went out to trial him there, which is probably a pretty good lead, and takes the ride here as well. So I think he's probably the best horse in the field, and he's going to run a really big race. I thought the $4.60 was a very backable price.
Okay, and I'm going to be doing a similar tactic at Ipswich with my best value bets of the day. These will come up in race number 4. I think this is one of the provincial races on the card. And speaking of trainers with really good strike rates at Ipswich, Tony Sears, he's had 45 runners this season for 18 winners, operating at a 40% winning strike rate. And amazingly, his return on investment from that is 44.6%. So very profitable stable to follow here at Ipswich. And I'm keen on his runner here, horse number 9, Red Bloom, who's undefeated at the track. 4 starts at Ipswich, 4 wins at Ipswich, 3 over this distance. 2 starts ago, was over this distance, canted him by 3.5 lengths. Then went to Eagle Farm, didn't get much luck there, finished back in the field, but I think finds an easier race here, returns to Ipswich, which is obviously the key. All 4 career wins have come at this track. And I think at around $5.50 with play up, it's going to be a good bet in this race. The other one I'll be playing is number 11, Divine Diva. Finished back in the field first up at the Gold Coast, but if you look at a record, never really fires first ups, had 4 starts and never finished in the top 3. However, if you look at the second up record, just had 3 starts for a win and 2 second placings. So I'm expecting her to take some improvement from that first up run, get a good draw here in Barrier 2, and I thought $18 with play up was over the odds. And probably the only other one in the race I might have something small on is down the bottom, horse number 16, Triple Arrow. One on its stable debut, first up for the Bellamy camp, and probably can progress here second up. Gets a good draw, Barrier 3, currently $14 with play up. That's our best bets of the day, nice and short and sharp. Trent, any other thoughts on the cards at Flemington or Ipswich or anywhere else for that matter this week before we sign off?
We got Amish Boy going around at Ipswich.
Bumps into Axe. It's going to be a great race.
It does bump into Axe. Yeah, that should be a good race. I'll probably have to have something on Amish Boy after we talked him up as a Stratty Hope and didn't make the field. But I think that'll do us for this week. Yeah,
just quickly that race. I'm with you, but I'll probably be backing Axe just because of the map. I think Axe will go forward from the wide draw. Michael Costa runners are flying at the moment. And if he finds the front with any amount of ease, he'll be very hard to run down. It looks a pretty simple play to me. Back Axe, save Amish Boy, or back Amish Boy and save Axe. One of the 2 will be winning, I think. Okay, that'll wrap us up for this week. As I said, nice and short and sharp. We've got some places to be and things to do. But you'll find all our previews on racingbet.com.au for all 4 states this weekend: WA, Sydney, Melbourne and Queensland, as well as Royal Ascot Friday night and Saturday night. Still 2 days left to come on the carnival. Thanks to Play Up for sponsoring this week's episode, and we'll be back to do it all again next week.